Alrighty. So, welcome to episode 17 of What Are You Drinking Now? We are live on Twitch. We're not live on YouTube because that got uploaded and all that good stuff. And so we're here with Nick as usual, me, Rob, and Sweet Locks Josh.
Oh yeah.
I think he's getting ready to make a donation to Locks of Love or something.
Yeah. It's getting long, but I feel like just letting my hair down and letting
it's hairband with a purpose.
If he's not getting ready to, he probably needs to.
It's about time.
So tonight we are bringing you 2 more beers and a wine. And I'm going to have my palate cleanser is going to be the Wicked Weed Cool Cumber. It's the end of the season on that.
I really enjoy that. St. Pauli Girl, guys, week 2 October.
Yeah, you're liking that St. Pauli's building.
Yeah, they put me in the light beer tent. Just the way it goes. You can't always hang out in the big band section.
Oh yeah.
Another
week, another
girl.
sexy canoe.
Another sexy canoe. You're hooked on that one too.
It's a good palate cleanser.
So just as a quick little ad for the shop, tomorrow we're getting Delirium and the Christmas ale. Is that it from them that we're getting?
The Noel, right?
The Noel, yes. Nick and I tried 4 of their beers with the Delirium rep last week, and we're getting those 2 tomorrow, and then we're going to get Nocturnum and the Delirium Red either next week or the week after.
Nocturne, can't even. Am I going to spell it right? How do you even spell Nocturne? Can
NSCT
T-R-U-M? Is it just Nocturne?
No, T-U-R-U-S.
Like vacuum?
Turn N-U-M.
Just having fun with this.
Okay, so anyway.
Good God.
Not going to put it in the chat.
Spelling class.
I'll put it out there.
So let's go ahead and get to some beer tastings. I know what he's got. His is pretty light. Are you going light style? Are you going dark?
Mine is, I wouldn't say it's dark, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily light. I don't know. I haven't had this beer yet.
Let's go ahead and start with Nick then.
I'm 100%. I've never had this beer.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know, right?
Of course, I caught Nick while he's trying to type in the Twitch channel.
Oh yeah, well I was just letting them know that they're going to be jugs. We're at the Nocturne.
Yeah, the Nocturne's going to be the
start with the
large
Noels.
bottles. They're going to be the 750 milliliter
ceramic
wine
bottles.
bottles. Yeah. So it's going to be some good stuff.
Josh and I have a good story about those.
Looking forward to it.
I told the rap about that. He was loving it.
I love ceramic bottles.
Also,
pretty sure that's how we got the Noel.
I think in November we might have a broadcast with the rep from Delirium. You want to come on the show?
So these guys don't know yet, but now you do.
That is incredibly hard to read.
Ghost Hammer.
Oh,
Stone Ghost Hammer IPA.
I just ghost hammered you. Let's see that glass so I can ghost hammer your palate.
Oh my God.
Is that wonderful and devious?
Stone is just so good.
Look, Stone, the arrogant bastard is probably like what people got like their first taste of some mean,
not that
evil West Coast stuff. But I think like Stone Brewery
you didn't even wait
captures a similar look, but just nails this SoCal taste. This West Coast, This is the cream of the crop. The label, the whole thing, the season.
I do like the label. The
This
label is
really
just
goes.
really
Who got
cool.
shorted? Did anybody get shorted? No, good. Rob did. He'll cry about it later.
No.
Hey, don't cry over spilled milk, but spilled beer.
Yeah, I'll just cry for still beer.
But if you spill your coffee and there's milk in it, you can definitely cry over because it's coffee.
So I'm gonna put this one out in front here, the Stone, just to get you guys reminded.
You know, one thing going forward, we
Ghost
might want to get a
Hammer.
little
IPA.
tray set up there for the beer cans.
That's a clever idea. And hey, if you got a product out there, you let us know. A beer holder over their laptop.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's out there.
Something
Rob.
that'll
That's
a little stand that can stand right there.
Glad I got the
That's
waterproof keyboard, I guess.
Anyway.
Dude, Ghost Hammer, I'm just trying to get a simple percentage. I'm not going to read the paragraph that they put on
You
here
want me to find it?
because I have a feeling it's going to get a little devious. The 6.7 alcohol on this.
I've only had one
This
of
is
these.
right in my
I've never
zone,
really
like
the
my
best.
favorite zone. Oh, goodness.
That smells just.
There's a little bit of juiciness, but it's not like really hazy. I think the haziness is the unfiltered.
I don't really think there's a haze at all, man. I just think it's
Maybe that's just the
maybe
glass,
a little bit
the
of light
frosted
ghost
glass.
haze. Maybe that's
There-
just
there-
like
there- there's like a little
ghost
bit.
haze.
There's a little bit of it, but
There was haze. Maybe that's the ghost hammer, you know.
Mm. Yeah, that's your West Coast. It's not super juicy.
But it's not heavy, like super heavy.
You know, you guys
It's
might
like-
be right. It's got a little kick towards the flash towards the New England, but it definitely stays West Coast. It's got a nice malt. You were saying?
It's not quite as heavily piney as a lot of the West Coast ones, you know, but there's definitely some good pine, some good grass.
Well, it's SoCal, man. The trees burnt down, man.
Alright, so
That
real
is
quick, while
so-
that's funny, Nick and I tasted some wine from California the other day, and he made a comment about tasting earthy and dusty, and I said, no, that's just from the fires last year.
Yeah.
Ash.
And then the guy was like, "Yeah, full on," you know, like another story. But, you know, I'm not bashing SoCal. I'm saying I think this reflects the landscape, the lifestyle, all of it. This is a beach beer. This is a mountain beer. San Diego's about that. You can hit the slopes and then be on the coast in no time.
On the background,
It was
you
already
got,
snowing on the west
you
coast.
got a lot of
man.
like lemon, lime, and grapefruit zest on the back end.
Absolutely.
And bitterness. It's just super citrusy on the back. It's really good.
I'm glad you picked up, and like not your ruby red grapefruit. I think Josh might agree with me here. I think it's very like white grapefruit, like
Yeah.
really just like
It's a really good blend.
almost like
So-
a Greyhound flavor, you know?
Almost like a citron, you know?
Yeah,
Kind of lemon, lime, and grapefruit.
I'm really digging that. So what's behind then that citrus? Because that jumps right out in front.
I like the bitterness on the back end, though. I mean, there isn't just solid bitterness.
There's a bitterness to the malts that's really friendly. It's like, although it's super pale, it's like just got this thickness, like almost like the way a double malt feels, you know?
That, but I also appreciate that the body is really light. So it goes down smooth, the flavor is heavy.
Yeah,
So it doesn't
Well,
make
like-
me feel bloated
yeah.
having a few sips of this. It's
Like jumping back on the board, you know, be it a snowboard, surfboard, whatever, man.
I wouldn't say it's a session beer by any stretch, but I would say that it's definitely lighter on the stomach.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the longboard with your paddle
So
stick.
the gist of the story on the back is they brew this beer at night,
Yeah.
and so most of the brewery is dark, and you can hear the pipes.
The pipes have caught
They're creaking and expanding and contracting, and they make a popping sound. And so this is named after they named the pipes after, they call it a poltergeist.
That's
And
creepy.
so they named the poltergeist Ghost Hammer.
A
Oh,
poltergeist is a ghost in the wall. If I'm
Yeah,
not correct.
the sounds of pipes just like expanding and contracting is crazy.
So it's named after their overnight poltergeist companion for the brew crew there. So that's kind of a cool little story, but
I really enjoy this. I want you guys to definitely be aware, just like how good this beer tastes.
I think I
love
like
West
this.
Coast IPAs. I'm bragging about them all the time, but
I think I like this because there's decided hops to it. I'm getting a little tired of the over juicy New England IPAs.
I'm with you, man. That's why we
Yeah.
got the keg of epic in.
But you know, I go through stages with anything like wine. I know we've talked about where I don't like the buttery Chardonnays because we had this over butter of California Chardonnays in the
just as you
mid
say
2000s.
People are asking for them.
Well, that's true.
You know,
That's
so-
true. But I was just talking about me and my preferences,
You know,
and so I'm starting to get tired of the New England juicy IPAs.
I think so.
Arbor
yeah.
Mist never goes out of style.
That's true. And, yeah, MD 2020.
MD 2020. Oh yeah, as long as it's the blue guy.
So I really actually dig this.
This is good.
Yeah, it's dry even.
Oh, the same. Awesome.
You know, I say dry. I mean
It's not sweet.
yeah. It's not sweet. You're not getting the big juice of oranges that they're just throwing that into.
It's definitely like fermented out, so there's not a whole lot of residual sugar you can taste.
I think there's a hint of citrus, mainly the piney hops, but not super in your face piney.
Yeah. So it's a great drinking beer. I bought a 6-pack. the other day. Like I was pumped. And I'll tell you what, I got one left. And I didn't
good.
sit around and get smashed. I just found a chance to catch one by the pool.
That's a good pool IPA. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, especially on the tail end of the hot months we have right now, I think it'd be great to sit out there and just sip on.
All right.
All right.
Let's try
What
this
about
in.
you, Josh?
Alrighty, so
This glass is empty. What do
I've
you
got
got?
this crazy contraption here.
It looks like you're doing some quick chill like I do on my wine over here.
Oh, it was definitely not cold when I grabbed it. As much as I've
Somebody
loved
must
it,
have just got it out and bought it. Yes, somebody did just buy a can of this out of the cooler right before Josh went.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
we're gonna have a little battle, IPA battle,
Oh,
East
yeah.
Coast, West Coast.
just trying to check this out. So this one is Ithaca Brewing, flower powered. So hippies.
Yeah, like upstate New York. That used to be old beer country, man. Like that's the old. Oh man, Utica Club and
Oh, yeah.
you know beers out of like,
Um,
Genesee and.
Belch factor on the Stone is a 4.5.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything about this beer. I haven't burnt.
You let me down.
I haven't burnt from the
I was
Gretchen
waiting for
beer.
you out of
Look.
7
Oh.
and 3/4.
Look at this color.
Oh,
This looks
it's,
very
it's obviously
familiar.
it's obviously a 7.2 that we're rating
I-
the Belch factor the last one.
I think
Better
the
cleanse my
fact
palate
that
with olive
you're not
oil.
wearing glasses and you let your hair down is affecting your timing. I think you're off.
I'm feeling mellow, bro.
Listen, things are very relaxed. What are you drinking now?
right,
we got a lot
so-
of momentum, but we're not gonna sit back, guys. We want to continue to innovate.
What was that you said earlier about spilt beer?
I'm gonna cry.
Josh.
I feel like I got interrupted. He distracted me. I was talking to you guys. He spills the beer on the laptop. We
No,
need
no,
to
not on the laptop.
If anyone has
Not
it,
on the
just
laptop.
get it to us.
So I don't know anything about this beer. It's brewed with Galaxy hops, which is cool.
To Josh's
Looks like it
defense,
from the can.
he had another beer picked, and Nick and I kind of told him no. So he at last minute he went and changed.
Well, yeah, I've never had it. I know nothing about this, so this is a complete blind tasting. Ithaca Brewing, I've had some stuff by them. They're not bad. They're Ithaca beer.
Yeah, so I know they have other hops in this one. I remember reading on the listing from the distributor, but the big thing is Galaxy hops. That's what they're going after. That's their big hop there.
Yeah, Galaxy's not the most common hop you see out there. It's been a minute since I've had any beer with Galaxy.
Now on the nose, this has that juicy New England orange juice, like they put
Which
it.
is funny because
Put it back.
color-wise, it's just a little bit hazier than the other one. I really see more particulates though, and I see some kind of like, I don't know, like the haze, just that color, that
Yeah.
opaque, like we were talking, that you can't quite distinguish. So
Yeah, this right here, I mean, it's
This is definitely sweeter.
I could smell the malt on the nose too. I could just tell that it's
Heavier in citrus.
a lot fuller. The citrus is more rindy, less like that white fruit of the citrus, and more like
Not the pith, but the
right down to the rind, just zesting over an espresso with a lemon, kind of
this
like
is this
just
is more like
nice bitter in there.
like the oils of the citrus, citrus oil coming on. This is a very nice beer. It's a very well balanced, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit different than the like say the Big O, which is a huge orange
I don't
IPA.
I don't know that this a New England style. Does it say it?
This is not a New England style. This is just an IPA.
Does it say it? I don't think
No, it
says
doesn't say any or New England.
So I almost think like this beer is a New York nod to those West Coasters, but it's kind of got a thick malt classic of the northern beers. I would say, northern Midwest, New York State, even into the Northeast.
Flower Power. Yeah, so I'm good with it.
Hey, this is how New York is. We're not New England.
Yeah, well, I mean, it almost tastes closer to the English style IPAs because it's a little bit maltier. It's a little bit more bitter than English IPA, but It's
Well,
it's,
yeah, the hops bitters is definitely still there.
yeah, it's but it's really nice. I really like this. I don't find it heavily complex, but it is smooth drinking. Little citrusy, little fruity.
One thing I forgot to say, the Stone, we're sitting at $2.75 for a 12-ounce can. For the Flower Power, we're sitting at $3.75 for a 16-ounce can. Not too bad. So I think both of them, definitely the Stone's worth it. I think this guy's worth it too.
This one's definitely worth it. I think what maybe going on. I think it might be too cold. I think
The ice.
I think I might have had ice water a little too long.
So is it cold haze there? Do we see it?
I think it's numbing.
You
some of
know,
the flavors.
I want to note that for the West Coast IPA, I simply draped a bandana over the beer, and it just kind of kept it nice and beach friendly.
Yeah, but remember his was like room temperature because he pulled it off the shelf.
I like it. I don't know where the complaint is, but too cold brings us back to the Oktoberfest thing and like some traditional styles of beers that beers open up. They have different flavors when they're warm. Some of the beers are traditionally served just warm.
Oh, yeah.
Temp. What was refrigeration? Like, where are you gonna?
That's
Maybe you
true.
pulled a fresh one out the cellar, so you tasted it while it was cold.
No, absolutely.
All right, so
Well, they do call the wine cellar the wine fridge.
you all right?
Yeah. Wrong shaft.
Sorry, it was the Bob Seger probably got it because I've been talking to him about a cover band called Against the Wind.
Can she do me a favor and grab that wine for us?
We're strictly pre-83 Seger.
83 Seager.
Woo. Beer is not supposed to go up your nose hole.
Yes, we do Main Street. Don't worry, okay?
All right, so Nick, you tasted this with me last week, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. There was a distributor person looking to get us hip to some new wines, and they certainly did that for me.
This is Pananica. This is the a white wine or white blend, excuse me, and it is from Austria.
Yeah.
So this is the one where we kind of introduced Nick a little bit to the Gruner Veltliner, because this is 40% Gruner Veltliner, 35% Chardonnay, and 25% Pinot Blanc. So the Gruner definitely steps forward on the front end of this. I think if I remember correctly, it had some, I definitely called out the fact that it was aged in oak because it had some of that creaminess to it also.
Ooh.
And then the Pinot Blanc just finished it out with some nice floral notes.
I will say, I thought it was Pananica.
Pananica.
Pananica. Well, yeah,
I
hey,
feel-
it's Austrian.
Well,
yeah.
it made me think of the Pixies song, like My Veronica.
Oh yeah, well,
Now you're gonna make me spell it for him. That's great.
Pannonica.
Great. Better than me writing it right now. Doesn't cause me to panic, yo.
Just to get this out of the way, the price on this bottle is $15. Nick, that's yours?
Okay. Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Wow.
Possibly.
That
So
is,
Gruner Veltliner is an Austrian wine. You will find it some in the French Alsace. And it's generally going to be higher in acid, very tart. And I'm particularly a fan of straight Gruner Veltliners.
4.3.
He said it's definitely a trans outfit
for that.
4.3 out of 8.1.
When I mentioned that, he agreed.
So
Its availability in the Upper Rhine is to be discussed.
So this was brought to us from an old friend of mine and Josh's, Greg.
Definitely smooth. I think you're definitely
From
right.
Mims, and I'm glad he brought it to us.
Oh, good old Greg.
I think if we get anybody in here, and I know there's a couple of the reps that watch, and if you want to step in and be a guest on the podcast,
Did
by
you
all
guys-
means, let us know.
Did you guys really see the body on the glass? Like,
Yeah.
you know, we're swirling our glasses here. There's a couple things. Swirl the glass. Your Valentine's Day. So get your nose inside. You smell it. It smells amazing. But the look then on this glass, this thing's got body. It just holds on the side of the glass.
This
It
is
does
coming
not
through
run with legs like
straight
wines do.
straw, maybe a little greenish.
Yeah.
This is a pretty crazy.
I
love the nose.
You can tell there's acid in there on the nose, but there's also the creaminess coming through of the
She doesn't open her skirt. How can I see the
It's
legs?
really, really light. It's not heavy.
there aren't very many legs on this one.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And it's getting floral notes from the Pinot Blanc.
Oh, yeah. It's a really, really crazy nose. I like it a lot.
That's a really nice soft take on citrus fruit and kiwi tones. I don't know if you guys like kiwi. Peeled kiwi in this case. It's not like fibrous, like fuzzy kiwi or nothing. I mean like just that fleshy green part.
The complexity on this is really nice. Just like the nose, where you're getting the acid, you're getting the cream, you're getting the floral. It's all there on the palate. The acid is not heavily pronounced on the palate, but it's there. It's right on the front end.
It's so light tasting, but so flavorful.
And then it runs into the creaminess and buttery from the oak Chardonnay, and then
I feel like
right back there's a little bit of floral from the Pinot Blanc.
I feel like I already want to ask Josh's question about appropriate temperatures and stuff. You know, we use these ice buckets. This is the
perfect temp for this wine right here.
Yeah, that's another thing too. If you want to enjoy white wine and you have 15 minutes, 20 minutes, put it in an ice bucket, pour some water on it. Don't leave it in there longer than 25 minutes though, because it is going to get it too cold.
Open it. What are you waiting that long? You should have cheese and
But I
crackers
do think this came down to almost perfect.
I mean, if it was warmer or colder, I don't think I would enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying it right now. But this is ridiculous.
And keep in mind too that you can drink white wines room temperature.
Oh,
They open up a lot more complexity when you drink them at room temperature, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, when I try and I do tastings, I actually prefer it if I'm the last of the day on the tastings, and the rep pulls out a white wine and apologizes because it's too warm because his cooler bag is, at the end of the day. Because I'm going to get it all the complexities out of that glass or that tasting.
I'm loving the citrus tones in this though. The acidity really pulls through for it. I mean, it's like every citrus fruit under the sun, like combined together.
I'm loving this. It's different than Western Europe wine. I want to go to all the capitals on the Danube and taste their wine now. Like, this is amazing white wine. I want to get out into street fair, taste some good food. Meats over fire, cheese, great, but
let's get into what food's going on.
I'm not gonna even just get out in the local fair with this. This feels like a new flavor to me. I'm new to Austrian wine. I'm new to taste of the far, like Transalp taste. I know some French wine. I know some American wine. I like the South Americans, but this is something new to my palate. And if you haven't tasted something like this,
this is a ridiculously good one.
Especially at $15 a bottle.
I can't believe that this is a $15 bottle. I'm in love with this right now. I don't want it to go away.
I think Greg did us a favor with this wine. I really do. But he also knows my palate. He knows that I like the Gruner Veltliners. We talked about it for many times, even back when I was at my last place over on BHI. He was repping for me then, and he knew that I liked those sharp, acid wines, and we talked about Gruner Veltliners then. And I think there's another rep of mine, Chris, who's probably going to start hooking us up on getting some Gruners in here too.
It's like I said.
And then Nikki, I know you watch the show, so and we got Nick on board, so let's.
Josh mentioned the oak. It's not overbearing, and Rob, he asked, "Is this oak?" I don't know what the true like process is, but it's not overbearing. It's not your butteriness
So,
coming out in Chardonnay. It's
I
just-
believe Greg looked it up for us while we were here, and he found that it is it is aged in steel casks. However, they do say that with oak. So it
Staving.
sounds to me like they put
Staving.
oak staves in, and but hey, if that's what's going to give this wine this complexity,
It's
But
not Australian
it's like the
mulch,
perfect
though.
amount.
and you know what else they may do? They may do the Chardonnay separate from the Gruner and the Pinot Blanc, and then blend them at the end instead of blending them before fermentation. And they may just oak the Chardonnay.
Yeah. So that there's a freshness.
That would really get it,
it's-
because then you wouldn't have the oak hitting the
Yeah.
blanc.
So you have everything, you blend it after the fact, after all the fermentation's gone. So there may be,
Which
and he said this was all estate grown.
and I thought
So-
blended wine was always about indecision, but it really is about winemaker's choice. They're trying to show you something about the vintages that they've been working with, and they meld them back together.
Yeah, they're
it's
definitely trying to
cost
save the-
saving and something that a winery can do to build product.
Well,
But
not necessarily.
It's
I mean,
also sometimes it's like the authentic wine of a region or such.
yeah, you may. I mean, when they get into blending, they could over blend something and totally ruin the whole batch. So it doesn't
Oh, yeah.
necessarily mean cost saving.
It's definitely art to blending, man. Well, it's like cooking, like you don't want to put too much salt. Do you want to put vinegar in it? You don't have to. Do you have to put onions in this time?
Do I have to ask you?
No, this one's pretty tasty.
Yeah,
This
this is.
splash will be all right. Thank you.
So food. We haven't even talked about food for this guy.
Like I said, I feel like this is definitely a wine I could drink on my feet, roving around. So catching this in local market fare, if I had the opportunity. There I'm going to be having finger foods, whether it's like nice haute cuisine and charcuterie. I'll let
This
Josh
is
tell
go,
you
this
what
is
that
going to sound weird. I can almost see myself with a sausage, like
Yeah,
a
grilled
like an
meats.
Austrian sausage of some sort.
Dude,
Yeah, that-
Vienna sausage,
No,
Vienna
not-
hot dogs.
not-
We're talking.
Not the little guys.
No, we're not talking about the brand. We're talking about why the brand is.
I was over at a friend's house yesterday, and he had freshly ground kielbasa from New York, one of his favorite Polish butchers. That would probably be really good with this right now. Just lightly smoked and like the
Look-
fresh taste of the pork.
The way
everything
that
on it.
grilled pork has a sweetness in that those nice sausages would really pair well with that little bit of that citrus bite.
You talked about
You could even braise
smoked-
it as you do it.
smoked with kielbasa. I mean, I'm thinking smoked salmon.
Smoked salmon
Yeah.
would be great with this because,
Well, that's
especially
why-
with that fattier cut fish, the acidity in this, it would just kind of perfectly.
So I
Yeah.
mentioned the Danube. The river is
Smoked
long,
trout.
goes through all of the
Trout.
Europe, but Austria is at the headwaters of this Transalpine slide towards the Black Sea over the
It is,
Balkans, and it's a different terroir, very different, slaty, deep canyons, but very, very like wet. It gets its share. They get dumped on in the winter. They get, hot and muggy summers. It's a deep valley with a lot of history, man. And so the pork trade, the wine, and all this. They've been doing this for
Oh
minutes.
yeah.
This is what I'm getting to. So it is not strange to think like, oh yeah, these guys are gonna have a pork sausage from Austria with the Austrian wine. No, I mean that is like the first thing that came to mind. I felt like I was at an Austrian street fair, like ancient Strasbourg, like.
Yeah, the interesting thing I find about Austria is they have similar foods to Germany, but similar wines to France. They're like right there in the middle, and they're their food could definitely go along with the
Do you
wines.
guys catch a little like effervescence in this? This may be something about just,
I feel that it tastes really bright, like like almost like effervescent. But
Yeah, I think that's what
I
you're
think it's
picking up.
mostly just the acid content in it and the light body, just making it taste so bright. I mean, it tastes like a light being cut on. If that makes.
I mean, I think Josh is right. I think the the acid on there is what's giving that, because it hits you right up front
Yeah,
and rolls
But
to mid palate.
It's backed with this minerality that's just
Oh,
incredible. And so,
it does have that rocky kind of finish there too. And I always like,
Almost chalky.
virgin
I
is sweet,
love
but yeah,
that.
kind of chalky.
I love that taste in wine. Like I love it in white wine.
Yeah.
So,
Glacial terminus, or whatever they call it. Glacial till.
so I
I can
think
taste the melted glacier.
this is solid. I think if you like French Sauvignon Blancs, if you like Muscadet, if you like, well, obviously, if you like Gruner Veltliner,
I almost think that if you were into Rieslings and wanted to branch out into something a little bit drier, this would be kind of a good gateway
you know,
wine.
if you look at the Alsatian Rieslings and the and the German Rieslings and stuff like that, yeah, you're gonna find a lot of similarities with.
I agree. I'm just laughing because like you guys are you're working another way towards exactly what I was
I
saying.
mean, yeah, you're gonna find that there's a lot of the same terroir, and it's going to lend the same. Your drier Rieslings, obviously, not your overly sweet ones, or even your.
That's what I was saying. Like, I feel
Well,
like if
that's
you were,
upper Rhine versus lower Rhine.
if you were trying to like
sweetness.
branch out from the sweeter Rieslings, this would be a good kind of stepping stone into a different world of wine.
I can see that too.
Because you can see where even if you like sweet Rieslings, this one would be really good.
Additionally,
there's
I
a
would
little
like
bit
to
of
point
sweetness
out
there.
one fundamental thing about the different of why Riesling is Riesling and why it works the way it does versus a wine that's on the river, the Danube. The Danube flows from west to east, basically. Okay, yes, it undulates and does this in between, but that's going to have a general formation of the mountains and the slopes, where you're going to have north-south edges of your cliff with east-west faces. Okay, whereas your Rhineland is specifically named because it does this a certain thing where the Rhine actually is flowing from south to north. In the
So
northern hemisphere.
what you're getting at here is he's beating around the bush at it. He's actually talking about how the sun hits the vines, because north to south, west to east, and the way the vineyards are planted along those rivers.
Yeah.
So you're going to have your sun going different directions across the vines, which is going to affect growing times, which is going to affect heat on the vines,
Mhm.
and moisture content from the morning dews and so forth like that. So that's where he's.
They're both rather more continental than your Bordeaux countries, those lowlands that we tried. Those were those really briny. We kept thinking shellfish. Remember?
Mhm. Yeah, I'm not thinking shellfish at all when I'm drinking.
No,
this.
there's no brine in this. This
No.
is.
I don't even think this would be good at all with oysters, and I like a lot of wine with oysters. I don't think this would work.
I want Josh to, show me stuff that Americans think is baloney. That is like amazing, like stuff covered in millimeter of aspic and stuff. That's like preserved peppered meats.
Well, you're talking like terrines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like a whole chunk of a pistachio right there just staring back at you.
Yeah, but it's like filled with pork instead of like actual pistachio.
Oh, well, yeah, but you got like the big chunks of nuts right there.
All right. Speaking of nuts, you guys are, and let's wrap this up. Let's go back to the Ghost Hammer on. I give that one
Oh,
2 thumbs up. I like that.
Yeah, Ghost
I
Hammer.
saw- I saw-
Good job, Stone. We love it.
Flower Power. I'm gonna give that 1 thumb up.
Yeah, I liked it.
I like it.
I drink it. I gotta tell you guys, I didn't pound it. I pounded the Ghost Hammer. I didn't pound this, but it could be a little more body.
He's gonna go back to it after a while. I can only imagine.
You know what? It's good beer. I like it. It's good beer.
All right, Pananica,
2 thumbs up.
the white blend of Gruner Veltliner, Chardonnay, and Pinot Blanc.
100%
Yeah, that was. They
This
deserve
is-
to have
this is
another.
for-
I have one of our I have 2 of our customers in mind for this. I'll talk to you about them afterwards. You
Also,
probably already know.
you mentioned wine tasting. We're
This
going to have
is-
wine
this
tasting.
is-
This is available for tasting 6 to 8 this Wednesday. I think we mentioned it, but just want to get that.
It is on our
message
tasting.
across.
That's right. I don't normally do that, but this thing hit me so much in the the tasting we did the other day that I wanted to get it out there to people.
Original
This is good.
artist Mackenzie will be here, so check that out.
If you guys haven't made it out for one of the visit
Take
at wine
that.
tastings, it's a
I'm
total
gonna have another glass to that. And on that one, guys, take care. Like, follow, comment below.
And subscribe.
Subscribe. Don't forget, we
Chat.
do this live
Go
on
live.
Twitch every week.
Oh,
Nick
and
is
it's still
typing
live
along and looking.
in the office, so you can, if you don't want to Twitch, you can just come
There's
sit
a couple
here.
people sitting
Yeah,
out in the
we-
lobby right now.
We have folding chairs, like you can arrange them in a semicircle pattern.
And I do like the fact that our viewership is getting out there. I was
17
approached.
subscribers
I was approached 17 whole subscribers.
at the beginning
I
of
was
the
approached this week at a wedding of a friend, and it was somebody I didn't know, and they're like, "Hey, I know you. Where do you work?" I told them I'm in the office, and he's like, "You do that podcast?" I'm like, "Oh,
recognition.
okay. I guess I
That's
do."
great.
Didn't I say that we get 17 subscribers that brew a beer or something?
Oh, we're brewing a beer and starting.
Okay. Anyway, thanks, guys. We're out of time. See you next week. Hope to see you at the wine tasting this week on Wednesday. That's us. Take care.